Did not participate were Anderson hamstring, Bergstrom ankle, McCoy fibula, Ioannidis shin, Peterson shoulder, Roulier knee, Nicholson illness, limited Moses knee, Williams wrist and thumb, and Norman hamstring. And there's one more guy I can't read. It starts with an M. Moreau knee. Sorry.
Did something happen with Trey on either Friday or Saturday of last week that he's missed and then is now on IR?
You know, after the game against the Cowboys, he played pretty good, and then he was in a lot of pain, and obviously couldn't go last week and was in a boot. And I thought, and we thought as a team, that it was best to get that thing rested up. He's fresh off of surgery this year, tried to fight through it, played well against Dallas, and then I think the short week playing Dallas on Thursday just made it flare up quite a bit. And we weren't sure if the timetable was 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, or what have you, but we thought best for Trey was to go ahead and put him down.
And with Quentin, you guys have been patient for a long time. Why the decision now?
Well, this is, I've been saying all along, it's a unique injury. When you're talking about the nerve, we don't know exactly how long this thing's going to be, but we know it's a slow healing process. So I think what's best for him and his future is let's get this thing checked. When you're talking about nerves, it worries me a little bit. So, and I know it worries him and it worries the staff. We haven't been able to quite find exactly the timetable for this thing, but I know that he's not too confident putting a lot of weight on it and running full speed. And it's something that for his future, I think we got to get it figured out.
I know you guys have experience in a bad way with Kaishan with that, and obviously a different situation. But is there confidence that the rest will be enough for Quentin?
I think it's just a slow healing process. So we do have confidence that thing will heal. We just, you don't know the timetable exactly. It could be 3 weeks, could be a month, could be 2 months. But the fact of the matter is we just want to make sure we do the right thing by him and make him or let him see as many specialists as we can to get a good grasp on exactly what it is so we can target the rehab time and get him fixed.
What's kind of the extent of Roulier's knee injury? Is that something that can keep him out Sunday?
Yeah, he's got a grade 1, I think, a knee type deal. I don't know. There's so many different ligaments and issues in there that I think he's limping around a little bit today. So we'll see. It's something that has to progressively get better, and hopefully it will over the next couple days. But he's in a little bit of pain.
Jay, I know you guys are focused on the Giants, but when you experience this type of rash of injuries 2 years in a row, especially to the offensive line, as an organization, do you kind of have to take a step back and try to reevaluate and figure out what exactly is going on here?
Yeah, we had a lot of conversations in the offseason about it. We added the recovery room. We're trying to get the right treatment. We got massage tables in there. We got sleep centers. We got all kinds of stuff in there for these guys to take care of their bodies. But you look at the type of injuries we've had, and same as last year, they're all kinds of different ones. Their ankles, their knees, their pecs, their thumbs. I just can't put a finger on it, and if anybody has an answer, I'd love to hear it. But it's painful. It's painful for the players. It's painful for us as a team, organization, all the work we put in the offseason to get these guys ready to play. You have your final cuts. You feel good about your offensive line, and then you lose 7, 8, 9 of them. And, it's just hard to overcome something like that. But we have guys in here now that we have to get ready to play.
Why Josh as the backup quarterback, and what's your plan for him this week and moving forward?
Yeah, we have 3-4 days to get ready. I've been with Josh. He was with me at Cincinnati. He's with me at Tampa, and he knows the terminology. So when I say dusty, or he knows exactly what it is, quick seam, he knows what it is, so he can function that way with the cadence, with the terminology. When you have 3 or 4 days to prepare for a team and get a quarterback ready, you got to have somebody with some familiarity. And I felt most comfortable with Josh because he knows our protection calls. He remembers a lot of our terminology. He can move around a little bit. But mainly for the sake of communication, we had to have somebody that had a little bit of background in our system.
Obviously, he's going to be doing that stuff and some of the plays, a lot of the plays that Mark will also be running. But because he is mobile, is there another part of the playbook that he also gets to dive into a little bit? And if he were to come into the game, is the read option type of stuff in his arsenal?
Yeah, that's the other good thing about him. He's versatile in what he can do. It's just a matter of trying to get him the reps out here with the new guards that we have, so we can't throw too many different type of schemes at the Giants. Obviously, we'll try to do the best we can to keep him off balance, but he does bring an element of that we can do. We just got to get him some work tomorrow, hopefully, and maybe Friday, to get a good package that we feel good about and the line feels good about, and the receivers for him. So, yes, he does bring that element.
With Dunbar out, what's the plan at corner going the rest of the way? You've kind of used those young guys interchangeably. Is one kind of ahead of the other, or will you look at all three of them?
Yeah, we continue to look at all three of them, really. We like what they all bring, something different to the table. You know, Stroman's played both inside and out. You know, Danny's done the same thing, and I think Adonis is more of an outside guy, but we've used him in some joker packages where he's had to cover tight ends a little bit. I think it's just going to be a process, an ongoing process. Obviously, we like to have in base Fabian at one corner and Josh at the other corner. When we go sub, that's when we can interchange a little bit, play Stroman in there, possibly move Fabian in there. It just depends on the matchups.
How much is there for a guy like Mark to overcome having been out of the league or not played for a couple of years? How big a leap is that to go to becoming a starting quarterback and playing out there after having gone that long?
That's a huge leap.
without doing it?
It's a huge leap playing with guys you don't even know. You know, I don't know if he knows all the guys on our team's names. So it's big time. And, you know, the terminology, just calling a play in the huddle, you know, off the wristband or calling a play in the huddle, being confident what you're doing. And then you go to the line, you got to possibly make protection calls or switch the play at the line of scrimmage and then get the snap and your footwork and the concepts. All that stuff is going to be a great challenge, you know. But the good thing is he's played a lot of football in his day, and you know, he did a pretty good job against Philly. Obviously, nice 2-minute drive and had some decent plays, and we just got to build off of that. And really, as a staff, our job is to tap into what he knows and what he feels comfortable with moving forward, while also trying to come up with a plan for what the Giants do. So it's not easy for any quarterback, no matter how long you play. If you don't get any reps in training camp or preseason or regular season with the guys you're playing with, and you don't know the terminology, so to speak, it's a great challenge. But he's a veteran guy, and I think he'll do the best he can.
Jay, how is that balance between self-prep for Mark and getting him kind of caught up on everything, but also being able to do homework on the Giants and getting ready for them? And how much is that different than with somebody who would have been here the whole time?
Yeah, I think probably have to be a little bit more simplistic in your approach, but you still can challenge the defense different ways. You know, you may not be able to do so many different formations and motions and all that stuff, but you can do some different things. I think running the ball will be key, obviously, and you know, some play actions to get him outside the pocket could be very beneficial. And then the drop back concepts that we have will be things that he's comfortable with. You know, the trick is third down, red zone. That's its own entity. And that's something we're going to look into tonight and really try to come up with a plan, a protection plan, and a route concept plan, all that good stuff.
With Josh Johnson, is there something about him that makes him kind of like, why do teams, obviously the familiarity is here with the system, but it seems like a lot of teams go to him as, we need a back quarterback, oh, let's grab Josh Johnson. Like, why? Is there something else about him besides?
Yeah, I don't know. I know he's had a lot of opportunities, you know, and I had him in Cincinnati, and you know, I think sometimes when you have a backup quarterback, you want him to be able to function in the huddle and call plays, and he's a very smart guy, you know, and he's been in a lot of different systems. He can handle the protections and calling the plays in the huddle, and then when the play's snapped, he can make some plays with his legs. That's very important, you know, scrambling and moving around outside the pocket. So he does have some qualities in the quarterback that other guys don't have. You know, as a pure drop back guy, if you're going to throw it 50 times, you probably want to go elsewhere. But Josh is more of a guy that is a first, second down guy that can run a little bit and get outside the pocket and make some things happen.
Mark was very good in 2-minute back in his time in New York, and obviously was successful at the end of the first half on Monday. What makes him good in those scenarios, and how hard is that to repeat in different parts of the game where the defense is obviously playing a little bit differently as well?
You know, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know he was good at 2-minute at New York, but he did a nice job in our 2-minute drill. You know, sometimes you play fast, you don't think quite as much, and there's less to do, and you feel good about the 2-minute plan. There's less plays, less concepts you have to deal with, you know. So he did a good job getting the ball out, moved around in the pocket pretty well, and did some good stuff in our no-huddle situations also. So something we have to look into.
You signed a guard with Bergstrom out and Cooper. Just what's kind of the plan for Sunday? Is Nseki going to be an option at guard again? Like, what's kind of
Yeah, we're looking at Zach. We signed Zach here. He'll get some look at guard, and obviously, we've got we signed Rainey also today. We had him in training camp, so he can play center if Chase can't go. That whole group is kind of in flux right now, to be honest with you. We obviously feel good about Morgan and Trent. I'd like to keep Ty outside if we could, but if we need to pay him at guard again, we could, possibly. So we're just looking at all our options right now before we make a decision.